Moment of Harmony. Let me just, I don't know. I feel like this thing is like I'm all up in your face. You know what I'm saying? Not giving you any space. I believe in space. I believe in a little bit of space. Let me get up in this chair. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You guys have had so much Mommy Mercy. We are moving into a Sunday moment. I am so excited to be here with you today. Let me just make sure, y'all. I don't know. It's just a little bit of the perfectionist in me that has to keep on moving the camera around and around. Okay. Welcome, y'all. Okay, we're in a Sunday moment. If you live in Baltimore or the DMV area, it is a gray, foggy, wet, cold Sunday. It's been that way for the entire weekend. If you're watching in live time, it's one of those days. So we got the heat going. We got some nice warm clothes on. We are here to catch a vibe, to grab a moment, much deserving of us. And I'm super excited to be able to share in a moment with you today. Welcome, 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 and welcome again. Today's episode is entitled Talk to Me. We are in a group of mini series. We've had so much so far through 2026. We've just been in a group of mini series, and we are right now in sacredly showering ourselves. We started out with like getting ourselves unstuck. Then we had a month of like building momentum for success, like moving past any disappointments from the start of the year to now. And now we are in making it sweet. Okay. We've gotten unstuck. We've gathered our momentum. We've moved towards success. Now let's get into a sweet spot. Okay. I love a sweet spot. Getting all sweet for ourselves by sacredly showering ourselves. In the past weeks or previous weeks, we've showered ourselves with attention and affection. And today we're going to talk about showering ourselves with affirmation. And we're going to close out next week, our last week of this series. We're going to close out with showering ourselves with accountability and get into how to do that in a very loving and productive way. So, super excited. Let's get into it. Oh, if you're watching it live now, I am well aware that there are times when people do playbacks. I have over 200, almost 300 videos over a span of a number of years. And so I am well aware that people watch these videos years later, many times later. And sometimes I'm talking about current events or something that's happening right now. Y'all, I got to be in the moment. Ding. You see what I just did there? I have to be in the moment. And so I'm well aware if you're not watching this in real time and at this moment, bless you. May peace and love and light find you wherever you are in existence. And if you are watching this in real time, meaning this week, today, live, on a playback, listen, I have to give a big shout out to the super big. I love anything we do together positively. So anytime I find that we are on a similar wavelength, everybody is in a certain vibe, we're doing fun things together, it gets me so excited. So I want to give super big energy out to the peace, love. Hi, hi, hi. Thank you so much all the way from India. Oh my God, look at you with an India moment. That's love. Thank you for joining me this morning. But the mic here in America, thank you so much. Here in America, the Michael Jackson movie was popping all weekend. So I have to give love and light and energy to that. Peace and welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Thank you, dear. Thank you. What is your name? Tamilar, and I'm so sorry if I'm messing that up. 409. Love and light to you. Love and light to all of you. Thank you for joining. India is like jumping on the chat. There are multiple people coming in saying that they are from India or they are Indian. Welcome, welcome. If you came in peace, you came to the right place. So just giving love and light for the Michael Jackson mayhem this weekend. They talk about what is it they call it? The Michael Jackson. not experience. Effect. The Michael Jackson effect. Often they say the Michael Jackson effect should be studied. It is a out of this world type of influence that type of power has on people all over the world, generations that didn't even see or experience it firsthand, in love, in awe, instruct, motivated, inspired to grow. That type of magic is the magic of love, life, power, and divinity. That is the power of spirit. That's a spiritual power. So super excited to shout that out. I'm trying to look at my calendar to see what was this past weekend, the 18th through the 19th. Oh no, we're in the 24th. I'm sorry, we're in a whole nother week. Happy birthday to Edgar Bird. That's my nephew turned 18 many moons ago. I was so blessed to be able to interview Edgar on a Moment of Harmony when I was doing my Magnifying Moment series, and I was able to interview inspirational people here on the Moment. Edgar suffered a massive loss of his parent, of his only living parent at the time. Lost that parent at 12 years old. And I brought him on a show to interview him. He gave so much love and so much motivation to children, teenagers going through hard things. Um, Tuning into themselves, being honest with themselves, finding motivation to keep going and living. So shout out Eggs, happy birthday. You are 18. As a family, we did it. To my brother and sister, y'all did it. Okay, and definitely much love and shout out to his mother Q, who I know is so proud of who he is. Him and Taj both. So birthday love to Edgar. What else? We have so much going on in my house. We have prom coming up. We have it's just so much. And I know Eggs has prom too coming up. He also has graduation. He's a senior this year. So it's a phenomenal year for you. Your auntie's super proud. I'm trying to think. April the 24th. There's so many birthdays. Oh, listen, my homegirl, Isoke's birthday is tomorrow on the 27th. Live Long's birthday is tomorrow on the 27th. Sophisticated Aura's birthday and Heavenly birthday is tomorrow on the 27th. There's all types of Aries coming up. I think we're actually in Taurus season. Yeah, we're not even in Aries season anymore. It just got grounded. It just got grounded, guys. So we're in Taurus season. Much love to all the Tauruses out there. If it is your birthday, I am celebrating you. I am loving you. I am happy you exist. So we're just doing that, okay? We're just doing that. So love and light to you guys all abundantly. And let's move on into this moment. Today's moment again is under the Sacredly Showering Ourselves series. We are in the third of 4 weeks of that mini course. We're just doing like mini courses. We're in the third of the 4 weeks, and this one is all about affirmations, and it is entitled Talk to Me. Talk to me like that. You know what I'm saying? Talk back to me. So this is entitled Talk to Me, and we are going to be looking today. Peace, everyone. The chat is chatting. I love you all so much. How are you? Tamil, Simon. I'm looking. Kush. Um, Yes, I think I got everybody. I'm just going down the list, okay? But let's get off into this. I love you. Thank you. The chat is doing a lot on a beautiful Sunday. You guys are an amazing part of great work and a major part of why I always continue to get on here and use this little light of mine, okay? All right, talk to me. Now, today's episode entitled Talk to Me is all about the ways that we talk to ourselves, the importance spiritually, emotionally, developmentally of the language we use with self regularly, daily, intentionally, the language we use in thought, and especially verbal vibration, the actual language we use, word sound, about ourselves, to ourselves, with ourselves, and how that changes the frequency of self, how it either elevates and grows and glows us, or how it does diminish and block us from success. So we're going to get all up into that in this moment. By the time this moment is over, I hope you're talking real good to yourself. And I don't mean manipulating yourself or patronizing yourself, gassing yourself up. I'm talking genuine love and connection with self, genuine communication with self, genuine checking in with your internal climate, and being able to speak life over who and what you have and are. Let's get into it, okay? And let me just make sure my little soundtrack in the back, because it sounds a little loud to me. Let's bring that down a little bit, okay? Now, let's get all up into it. Affirmations. Now, when we talk about affirmations, now a moment of harmony, we did do an entire affirmation series, and we're talking years ago. I did a declaration series, I did a matter of moments, and I did an affirmation series that was all about giving us or offering us or sharing powerful affirmations to say to and from one another, or with one another, to help us to grow into a place of power. Today's episode will not be about me giving you more affirmations to say or suggesting or offering affirmations. Today we are going to really talk about the power of them and how to restructure them in this time, in this real time that we're living in a time that we really, really, really need to be able to be honest, centered, and truly in love with self. So we're going to get into that part today. Now, will I share some affirmations? Of course, because I live on affirmations. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to share some, but this is not what today's moment is about. Um, when we get into affirmations, the first part of I want us to understand is that they are intentionally internal. When we're talking about giving affirmations, again, like I spoke of earlier, it is not all. And I see the chat is going. You guys have so much to say. Welcome, thank you, love, light, peace, and harmony. If you have real serious genuine questions or comments or concerns, that you really want some feedback, share, exchange about, please hit me on any of my DM or what is it called, personal message platforms, on Facebook, where I am Harmony, Harmonie Davis, Davis. You can find me there. Serious inquiries only. I will always communicate and respond. Or on Instagram at Third Eye Therapist. That is third, THIRD underscore IEYE underscore therapist, THERAPIST, for serious inquiries, because I see you guys have a lot to say. You have a lot of questions, and I only have 60 minutes to really get everything done for my moments, and I don't ever really have the time to truly dialogue or answer questions or just any type of exchange. So if you have something truly genuine, kind, and what is it, of substance that you want to say, please feel free to always hit me up. I will always hit you back. In light. In light. We're hitting back in light. Okay? Now, back into it. Affirmations are about being intentionally internal. I do not ever, so when it comes to affirmations, again, the whole just saying things to make it true, saying what you think you should say to yourself, that's not going to be the most authentic, most genuine route that I would promote today. So this is really about being able to go inside of yourself to have a genuine conversation. Have you ever had a conversation with someone that you can tell is premeditated or generic? You can tell that they're just saying what they think you want to hear, or what they say to everyone, or it's very bland, like, how was your weekend? How was your weekend? Hey, happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. Now, I'm a happy Friday person. I'm a good morning person. I'm a blessings beloved person. I'm a love and peace person. But I also follow up with genuine, intentional dialogue, and connection. That is what I'm urging us or bringing to light about how we should and could and need to speak with ourselves. Intentionally internal. I want us to think about how often we speak to ourselves and how much of what we say to each other is pretty unconscious, or responsive. Like I've spoken about a lot lately. I've been in a great season of self. I've been able to spend a lot, like the most time probably in my whole life that I've ever been able to just spend with my own thoughts and my own energy. Really learning and figuring out who and what I really am without the influence of a crowd and people and you know what I'm saying? Like just really me. Just all me, not what someone else wants, thinks, considers, suggests. Um, Not that those things are not beautiful or not welcomed, but you need a concentrated amount of time with self to really learn, love, and connect with self so that you are not constantly being distracted from who and what you are. So I've been in this extraordinary season of self for years now. And I love what I've found out about me. I love what I understand better about me. I love that I know better what works for me and what doesn't work for me. So when we get into this intentional internal dialogue, I want us to think about when you are with self. Now, some of you may have children. Y'all know I have a crew. Some of you may be married or you may live a lifestyle where there's a lot of communication. I've gotten bigger and better with quiet time with self and a little bit of isolation, just a little bit of no access, okay? And I love it here. I love it here. But for those that may not, think about when you are alone, when you're at the gas station, on your way to work, in your vehicle, when you have quiet time, because you're not talking to yourself normally when you're around other people. You're speaking to them. So now take this little window of time that you really have time to speak to yourself. How many people put the radio on or put their phone on or listen to something or make a phone call to someone whenever they have quiet time to themselves? So the first thing we're doing is limiting self communication. We're either having thoughts and then they're battling with other thoughts, and we're very rarely oratively or say auditorily, shall I say, saying something to ourselves that we need to hear or that we need to be reminded of or that we need to be able to stand on or invoked upon from energy. We very rarely do that. And if we do speak to ourselves, again, you feel comfortable enough to say something out loud and no one else is in the room, it's normally in response to something going on around us or in our environment. For example, let's say I know a lot of times I will talk, like maybe I'm in the phone or I'm trying to figure out something. I'd be like, what in the world? Right? Talk to myself. I may be watching something on TV that makes me laugh and I'd be like, oh my goodness, girl, right? Or, what have you, to myself. But a lot of times, how intentional, now I have gotten more intentional, but on a regular schmegular, how intentional on a general basis are we having in authentic, intentional dialogue with self that isn't unconscious responses? Sitting in the grocery store like, oh my gosh, look at this price. Or falling, getting tired while you're working, saying, come on, girl, wake up, girl. We got work to do. Let's get this work done. Or it may just randomly say something like, oh, I'm hungry, I'm tired. This is about the extension of general self dialogue, and it's not working for us. We have hundreds of thousands of downloads regularly. Things just coming into us, coming into us, coming into us. And the only thing that we're providing ourselves normally is unconscious, responsive communication. Nothing that we're intentional about, and most things we're responding about. We're not normally declaring or setting a tone or setting a tone or intentionally creating a space, right? We normally, again, are just in this unconscious responsive place of communication with self. Now think about this. Think about how much time, energy, and effort we put into communicating with those around me. Meaning, I'm a mom. I have more than half of my children are young adults. So I am in that teen phase, coming out of that teen phase. So I am very intentional about how I talk to them, what I say to them, what needs to be said. I work with children a lot. So I'm always very intentional about being kind and being uplifting, being encouraging, being supportive, being guiding, right? And how often are we doing that with self? So now let's think about those same connections. You're at work, you have coworkers, or you have children, or you have a mate, you have a spouse, you have friends. You're constantly around people. And when you are around people, you are thoughtful and intentional about your communication with them, asking how they're doing, complimenting or encouraging, inspiring or motivating regularly, or even just checking in, intentionally check it in. Hey, how did it go at the doctor? Did you like the what you did this weekend? How are things with you and such, right? Intentional communication. What if the communication you have with your strongest relationships was only unconscious responsive communication? What if the only thing you got from them is if they said something to you, something was coming your way, that's the only reason you talked to anyone, and it wasn't anything you even thought of. It was like, oh, okay. Wow, nice. If that was the only, how would your bonds be with people if that was the only way you communicated, right? We wouldn't be very close to one another. We wouldn't be very strongly connected to one another. And we also wouldn't be doing our part as lovers, friends, co-workers, family members of people if all we did was unconscious, responsive communication. The same way those relationships will greatly diminish is the same way the relationship with self greatly diminishes. The bond and security and confidence with self greatly deteriorates from a lack of intentional internal dialogue. So you can't only speak to yourself when there's a problem. You can't only speak to yourself without thanking me. Oh, why did I do that? Stupid me. You can't only speak to yourself in this way. You have to think about yourself in as a source energy connected being. Meaning there's source energy, you're a part of source energy, and you have to think of yourself as energy that needs energy. That's what I mean by that. Energy that needs energy. And so that's why this episode is entitled Talk to Me. Okay, talk to me. You have to talk to me. I am a verbal, articulate person. I can't listen. Most things won't go down without a good conversation. I don't even know that you understand me. I don't understand that we're connected. I don't know if where you are mentally, emotionally, spiritually without a good, deep dialogue. And that's just how I made. Now, other people, maybe they don't need all that talking. But what I'm telling you about yourself is that you are an energetic source that needs energy. And so there can't just always be an outpour, and there can't just always be a superficial inpour. There has to be intentional internal energy being generated regularly in order for you to be your most optimal self. That means not exhausted and drained and negative and depleted, hallucinating, or what is it, suffering. People that are suffering with the negative thoughts and broken bonds and connections. That's a suffering. We don't want to be in that place. So unconscious responsive communication should not be the only time you hear from you. Should not be the only time you hear from you. Look at that over there. Oh, that looks good. That's what we call self-talk. That's what we say to ourselves when no one is around. Oh, wow. I'm tired. Oh, look at the time. Unconscious responsive communication. We are changing that with our Sacredly Showering Ourselves series with the affirmations. We are making sure that we are looking at self, and we're being able to say, girl, how are you? How, I'm saying that because I'm a girl, but you may not be a girl. You may just be saying, yes, son. I don't know how y'all talk to yourselves. Don't laugh. But you might just be saying, "Yeah, son, look at you. We gotta get ready for this week." My 19, he'll be 20 next month. My 19-year-old, he's gotten big into the workout thing. He's like going hard on all the old, 19-year-old workout. And I hear when he's working out, he talks to himself like crazy. I love it. I love it. But he's always like, "Get money. Yeah, son, do it. You got this. Again. Don't give up." And I love it because there is an energy needed for the energy that you're requiring of yourself and your life. Affirmations are so vital for creating and generating, just like a dialogue, a communicationless marriage. We always say trust and communication are pillars of a relationship. Same thing with self. They're the pillars of everything. Okay? You are communicating with everything except for you. And you're wondering why everything outside of you is thriving or everything around you is doing better than you. You are communicating with everything except for you. You are trusting everything except for you. We are changing that on this moment today. We are talking to, with, about self healthily, lovingly, consistently. We're doing it. Okay? We're saying, I'm changing that for you, girl. If it's just me and you in a room, I'm going to tell you how proud I am. Look at what you did today. You deserve to rest. You deserve this little laugh you looking for. You deserve peace. When things come your way, you should verbally counteract what is happening. There's a lot of times where things are being stressful or people are being stressful. And you may tell them, "Yeah, we may not answer the phone." Or we may answer the phone and we say, "Hey, I gotta go. I gotta get off there. I can't deal because things are going left." But be able to counteract that, bring balance, mayat to yourself by saying, "Listen, I deserve peace. I deserve only those with good intention should have access to my energy." These types of things help keep you on point and in line and reinforce a strong bond with self. So many of the mistakes that we made or the risks that we don't take or the rabbit holes, if you will, that we go down are a lack of self-trust, mistakes we've made in the past, things we didn't get right, decisions or choices we made that we're not happy about them, and we lost a lack of trust. Affirmations build confidence not only for you externally, but they rebuild your communication confidence with self. You begin to say, "I trust her. She gets me." Because I'm the language, the reinforcement. Language is so spiritual, right? It's so us. It's so building. It's so magical. It's so powerful. It's one of my most favorite. And that things in the world is language, verbal and nonverbal. The communication of energy, the exchange. So who is exchanging energy with you? When it comes to you, how are you learning to trust yourself more? How are you really relying on yourself? How are you truly learning and hearing what's happening inside of you more than you are what's being put inside of you? That comes from self-talk. It comes from self-bonding. It comes from self-communication. So let's get into some affirmations. Now, again, I'm not going to give you affirmations, but I am going to start you off with affirmation starters that can really help you on your way or contribute, because I'm sure you're doing your own thing. You probably don't need a lot of help, right? So, affirmation starters that every being on this earth needs to have in their pocket for building up communication with self. And they are: I decide, I deserve, and I dedicate. I decide, I deserve, and I dedicate. This is intentional, internal dialogue with self. This is me going out my way to spend time with me. Me going out of my way to give love to me. Me going out of my way to reinforce me. And I want us to do that with us regularly. We get so upset if someone doesn't say something to us. We don't like the way people, my nephew, he's older now, he's 7. Shout out to Cachito. Hey, Cash. My nephew is much older now, but when he was little, he did not like being fussed at. He didn't like being chastised really in any way. So cute. He was so cute. Um, and he couldn't always articulate because he was young what he didn't like. But he know, of course, as adults, we know it's like tone and intention. You know, when you're getting fussed at or someone is telling you about yourself or saying something about you don't like. So he would always say this. We would say, well, what's wrong with you? And you say, you talk to me like that. You could tell him no to something. He could ask for something. You could say, no, not right now, buddy. Don't talk to me like that. And you'd be like, why are you upset? And they would say, my aunt, he would say, my auntie is being mean or my daddy's being mean. He said, well, what did they do? They talk to me like that. Hey, no, peace, boo-boo. Talk. So it was the cutest thing because he would just, so now that now the grown-ups always say, don't talk to me like that. When someone says something we don't like, even if it isn't like aggressive or mean, because he just knew I don't like the energy. Don't they talk to me like that. So it was hilarious. And I'm probably not even doing it any justice because he was so cute. But we get caught up on what's being said to us and what's not being said to us. What would make us better? Oh, I would be such a better person if people would just say this, or if my parents would have said that, or if my boss would say this more often. We really get hung up on what other people are saying to us and not putting enough energy in what we are saying to ourselves. We don't live in a society that teaches us these righteous rituals of self-dialogue in love, in consistency, and in with intention. But we're doing it here today. So some of the things that some of these must-haves in your pocket. Now I just chose 3 that I feel like are big foundational fundamental things to pay very close attention to when you're saying to yourself. But of course, it's language, it's verbiage, it's energy. It means it's boundless and it's endless. Peace, love, it's boundless and it's endless. You'll be able to, there's tons of things. Just like your husband can never run out of saying beautiful things to you, or your wife or your girlfriend or your children can never run out of saying loving things. You could never run out of saying positive, empowering, loving, emotional things to others. The same thing with yourself. You will never, ever, ever run short on what is needed to be said from you to you. So I decide. I decide in whatever way you want to put that. But I decide becomes 2 very powerful affirmation starters because it's being very intentional in thought on, am I letting others decide? Are my feelings deciding? Are my fears deciding something for me? Are my emotions deciding something? I decide is an authoritative, commanding place of power to start with an affirmation, because it lets you know, not only gives you accountability and responsibility, but it gives you power, right? To be able to say, like, look, there's lots of decisions and choices coming my way regularly. There are a lot of different ways to go. There's a lot of opinions. There's a lot of suggestions. And this is a really good one, especially for me, because I am a people person and a mom, and I work with the public regularly. So often, I'm easily influenced. Like they say, the heartstrings. Super empath. Help me. Okay? So sometimes I'm making a decision that I think is the best decision for someone else. And I haven't gone and considered the whole, is it for you good though? But I come in there feeling like I'm good. I'm great. Everything's good with me. Let me help you. Let me work this out for you. Let me look into this for you. Let me show up for you. Let me be there for you. And in all of that, I lose sight of how much further I've stepped away from myself. So I decide becomes a reclaimer, a recentering, restructuring set of terms that brings me back into alignment with self. Sometimes you're helping someone, for people who work with the public, sometimes you're helping someone, you're doing a lot for someone, and it just doesn't seem, you're like, look, I decide becomes a good point of a boundary for self. I have done all I can do. I have gone as far as I can go with this, and it's totally up to you. Here are the resources, here are my ideas, here is my intention, and I decide that this is where I get off this train. I decide that this is as far as I'll go with this. This becomes so necessary. Again, in a world where we are flooded, inundated with ideas, thank you, Booby, ideas that don't belong to us, with marketing and algorithms and schemes and what is it, studying our pupils dilation and the movements of our eyes and our fingerprints and face recognition. We have all types of things studying us to manipulate us in order to have us consume more and more. I decide brings you back into a place of personal reference. I decide to entertain this conversation or not. I decide on the energy of my day. I decide where my energy goes. I decide on the intentions. I decide on if I suffer. I decide not to, right? But even if you're in a place, bringing yourself to that space to say, what is it that's working for me right now? When I get home from work, sometimes I'm like, work has got me, I'm exhausted to the ground, but I have so much to do at home. And I go into this thought of like, a good mom does this. A good mom still runs their kids around out here to Towson and Columbia and wherever they have to be. And a good mom still, and I have to come into this place of alignment with my conversation, not my childhood traumas, not what I wish and desire and what I hope my kids think of me, but my own communication. And I remind myself, I decide what type of mom I'm capable of being today. I'm a rock star mom every day. I gave you life, give thanks, and I decide to what capacity I have in me today. So, and it removes us away from, again, expectation, false communication, false influence, manipulation, strategy, and brings it back to I decide what I have the, because let your children tell it, you can do anything, okay? You are a robot. You have endless amount of money and energy. And then now you sitting up somewhere in the weekend, y'all heard me lose my voice, and you can't talk. I decide. I decide great things for my health. I decide great things for myself. I decide the conversations that are appropriate for a 40-year-old woman. No one else. I decide the types of connections that are worthy of my space, energy, and creativity. Nothing else. I decide. Now, the next one, I love this next one. I love this next one. The next one is I deserve. I deserve. I deserve. I deserve is this very empowering as well, but very humbling and centering first two terms to start any affirmation, because it not only holds you accountable to your decisions and the way you relate to the world, but it also humbly reminds you of all that you are and all that you've accomplished without having to say, without you having to be resentful, rageful, boastful. Because you know, when you get upset when people underappreciate you or undervalue you, you want to go and be like, I did this. That takes you out of a place of calm, peace, and receptivity. It brings you into a place of defense, anger, resentment, rage, and out of a balance of unconditional. We never want to be moved out of unconditioned. That is the closest to creative energy. The energy of creation that we can get is unconditioned. But it is hard, okay? I'm not saying that it's easy. We are humans, right? We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And that human experience be experiencing, okay? So I deserve is a beautiful way to not lash out at the lack of what's coming, but to stand on business about the expectation of what you receive. I put less time into the lack and more time into the absolute. It's coming. I deserve. And when I put that boundary up, I send an enormous message energetically that I have no time, I have no energy, I have no desires towards that which that is not deserving of me. That does not serve me well and good. So I deserve changes so much of the dialogue you say with yourself, because there was a time when you may have put yourself on a back burner. You may have not taken the greatest care with yourself. You may have not always listened to yourself. And you may have also put yourself at a lower place on the priority list in your life, and you took things that you didn't deserve, and you dilly dallied in circumstances and scenarios that was so beneath your power, your love, and your light. And being able to say I deserve brings a completely new perspective around to you internally. It wakes your spirit up to the understanding that you are now seen. It wakes your spirit up to the understanding that you are now seen. I wonder if everyone remembers Tank's song, not the remix, because the remix was alright, but there was nothing like the 90s I Deserve. And he was singing a song about a man that was cheating, and instead of singing the same I messed up, I love you so much, you everything to me, he went into this whole new, it was very revolutionary at that time. I don't even know if I should use that term, but it was innovative. Let me say that. He would say, so he said, instead of saying, this is what I did to you, he would say, I deserve. I deserve for you to do this. I deserve for you to feel this way about me. And it took the song so far away from like pity and woe is him. And it put it in a position of accountability and and realignment is what I felt. It hit. It was a hit hard song, especially if you're a song person, you're a lyric person. It was one of those like, dang, the way he told the story. When you talk about I deserve, now that's not in the same context as what we're talking about today. But when you use those terminologies, you change how the story of you is being told. That's why I brought up Tank, right? I deserve changes the narrative of your story, how your experiences are being told. Now, if you're saying negative things like, oh, I deserve that because something bad happened, if it's karmic and you've done things where something crazy comes at you in that way, I hope that when you use a term like that, again, you're redirecting yourself and realigning yourself with a more positive vibration. But let's talk more on the sense of where I'm coming from with it, which is I deserve, let's say, I'm going to use a term. This is what I'll do. I talk a lot about being 40. I love it here. And being just growing and becoming more of what did I tell my sisters the other day? Dang it. I said we're more of I think they would say seasoned hen. Oh, I wish I could remember, but I told my sisters we are less of spring chickens and more of a seasoned hen or something to that nature. I don't know. I was being silly, but just being where we are now. There's a lot of conversations in my circles and in the world and around me, and I guess like in the algorithm of 40 and older about aging and about changing and all of these things. And one of the things I say to myself to redirect the narrative from feeling bad or worried or anxious about a natural life process is I deserve. And I do this based on all the things my body has done for me, all the places it has taken me, and the journey I've been on with it. I always say my body gave life to 5 vibrant and extraordinary human beings, 3 of them naturally. I gave birth to people. I've never, this is my own testimony. This is not anyone's I'm not condemning anyone, judging, or triggering anyone. But I've never had a miscarriage. I give thanks. I've never had any pregnancy issue, and I've had all the natural way, right, to have babies, meaning that I've never had a C-section. Those things I'm trying to say. Everything has come the way in which it has come. I'm saying all of these things to reiterate the point of the narrative of your story. That now that I'm 40, if things begin to change, if things go a little lower than they used to be, right? If something is a little softer than it once was, I deserve, this is an affirmation, I deserve to age gracefully. I deserve grace in my beauty. I deserve, my body deserves my grace. Look at all it's done for me. Look how many times in 40 years I've been sick. Look at how many times in 40 years I've done some crazy fad diet or extreme situation to myself. At 40, when my body needs me the most, to be kind, to be gentle, to be remembering of what was, this is not the time. When I think about raising teenagers, I've had my share of them, and I have more of them to come. And I think about when they were little. You know, they get to become teenagers, and they like to say things like, "Oh, you don't understand," or "You're all." They like to speak in extremes. You're always mean, or "You're always telling me what to do," and I always feel like you don't remember that I nursed you, that I potty trained you. You don't remember that when you were sick, how I did boo-boos and I made up songs to teach you things. There's a grace that comes with, that's why our ancestors told us Sankofa. There's a beauty of grace and humility that comes with reaching back. So when it comes to my body and I say, I deserve grace now, it's not just, again, I'm not just sugarcoating my experiences. I am literally and genuinely checking in to say, I remember, body, when you got me through this and this. I remember being on buses in the cold as a teenager. I remember 2-hour workouts. I remember water fasts, and again, hours, days of natural labor and delivery. If you haven't earned anything from me, you've earned grace. If I remember being down on you when you were giving me your best, how many times I look back, oh my goodness, I look back at pictures of me in my 20s, I was gorgeous. And but I was giving myself such, you couldn't tell me that back then. We were always, me and my sister joke about that all the time. When we thought we were fat, we were like, look at this little roll, or look at this little bump, and this little pimple, this little whatever. And we were flawless. And so now, when I look back, like, girl, you thought something was wrong with you, and you were totally fine. And look at how you dealt with you being hard on you. You still decided to show up at 40, flawless. Okay? So, therefore, if you haven't earned anything else, which you have, you've earned grace. So, I deserve grace. I deserve time with myself, to myself. Child, I earned it. Okay, I've earned it. You've given everything, the shirt off your back, to everyone. You had 1,000,000 shirts that you gave out. You deserve a shirt, child. Okay, you deserve a shirt now. Figuratively speaking. You know what I'm saying? So, but I could go down and down the list, but it is one of my favorite affirmations now to share and indulge in with myself, because sometimes I need that reminder of me not being resentful, of me not thinking anyone owes me anything, but more of the reminder of what I've earned. more of the reminder of what I'm worth. You see how those are two different energies? You owe me, I did, the world, my friends, what the school I used to go to, whatever I used to attend, the institution, it owes. Nothing owes you. But you are worthy. And that's a perspective shift, right? I deserve. You have earned. And that's a perspective shift. I deserve. I deserve respect. I deserve consideration. I'm not whining for it, begging for it, pleading for it. This conversation I'm having with myself is about what I allow for myself. We get to the point where we asking too much of people? Are we asking too much from people? Are we speaking? I want to shift that around to, are you speaking too little to yourself? Are you speaking too little to yourself? Peace and welcome. The last one of these three major ones, again, affirmations are endless, but I deserve, or I decide, I deserve, and I dedicate. I dedicate becomes peace and welcome. I dedicate becomes this major, when we start off with those two terms in an affirmation, I dedicate. This is a conviction. This is conviction and promise to self. Now, remember we talked about building up trust with self. Again, we talked about being at a point where we've made decisions in the past, we've done things, and we sometimes just don't trust ourselves. So we let people talk us into things. We ignore red flags. We suppress our conscience or our intuition. We hear it, we see it, we feel it, and we don't embrace it because we don't trust ourselves. I dedicate brings us back to a space of firmness and confidence with self. This lets us know I'm not putting this on anyone else's back. I'm not making my happiness or my joy the responsibility of anyone else. I'm not depending on anyone else because think about the lack of confidence you have when someone else has to bring something to you. So it's one thing when I'm making my own food. I know I went to the grocery store. I know I picked out all the ingredients. I know what I have in mind. I know what I'm thinking. I'm very confident in what I'm going to make. But let's think about when we order something. We've never had it before, and we have to trust someone to make it and someone to bring it to us. How does your confidence drop a little bit with that? Like, I know me, especially as a vegetarian, I'm always hoping they prepared it a certain way with certain vegetarian friendly guidelines in place, and that they didn't forget anything or leave anything out. Can't tell you how many times I've gotten food that's too spicy or too hot. But that's because I relied on someone else to do it. It's a risk you take. When you speak, I dedicate, you eliminate so much of the risk that puts you at a hesitation with self. So you can say, I dedicate means that this is work I am doing to myself. And it's an affirmation starter that's intended to alleviate stress of stress of obligation or stress of anxiety, alleviate a bit of anxiety of being like, sometimes we'll say like, look, I am going to start this month off and I'm going to work out every day, right? As soon as we say something like that, that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't want to gaslight ourselves. We don't want to sugarcoat things. We don't want to be unrealistic. Not that someone can't. I definitely remember a day where I could go never miss a workout, right? But if you're in a space where you're setting a goal like that, it becomes this pressure. As soon as you start any levels of doubt on that pressure, you already start to break down your confidence with self. Subconsciously, you do that. But instead of a goal, I dedicate is a stance. It becomes more of a promise than a goal. So I dedicate, I know now when I still am into all my health things and how I eat and working out and how I think and my routines, and I'm into all my stuff still. Maybe not as extreme as I was back in the day, but I'm still into all my stuff. But my dedication is, this is where I dedicate comes in. My dedication is not to a number. My dedication is not to a specific outcome. I'm dedicated to the betterment and the wellness of myself. And do you see how that changes my self reliability, my self accountability, and my self love and faith for my bond with myself? Whatever I go and do, whether I try some new sleep schedule, whether I try, these new, oh, I saw that this helps or this works with stress or sisterhoods or whatever I try, I'm not connected to a goal. Whatever I invest my energy to, I'm dedicated to your wellness. This lets my body know you can trust me. You don't have to hold on to stress, nerve damage, excess weight, water retention. You don't have to hold anything because I am going to protect you. Look at that. Look at how you open up already. I'm going to fight you. Not I'm going to make you. Not you're going to do this. I'm going to beat you into shape. But I am going to love you. I dedicate my endeavors to your wellness. I dedicate. It is like speaking vows to yourself. I was listening to vows. I can be geeky like that sometimes. I like to listen to wedding vows, but not just any wedding vows. I like really creative, like artistic, like poems and music. But I feel like when I hear vows, I hear more about the connection, and not just generic like for better or for worse, but when people take the time out and it tells you in that moment where the connection is, like this is what I'm connected to in you. And so being able to say I dedicate is almost like giving yourself a vows, having vows for yourself, because we haven't always, right? We've let people cuss at us, disrespect us, threaten us, play with us in our face. We've forgiven people for doing horrific. At 40 years old, when I think of the friendships or connections that I looked over certain things, I would never today. I would never today. But it's because at those times, we're more dedicated to the journey, to the seeking, to the finding. We're more dedicated to, again, that journey to self, the journey to self, than we are to self. So when we are able to have a affirmation like I dedicate, this is me saying I am more dedicated to self. However I get there, it's about you and me, boo. It's about you being well and strong and vibrant and divine and positive and full of light and purpose and mission and grandness and greatness, child. I don't know how it's going to happen always. I don't know who's going to bring you something, who's going to be necessary, who's going to be vital, what the next player is in the situation. All I know is that you got this, sis. You going to win. I know that. So I dedicate is an extraordinary, phenomenal way to start self-talk when it comes to what you are doing. So let's say that you are going to work and you have an affirmation like, I dedicate myself to my skills. Or I'm dedicated to the evolution of my skills. Because a lot of times you may go into a work that's far away from your skill set, your creative line of work. Or maybe redundant or routine in nature that doesn't really require you to build or grow much. But if you are dedicated, if you are repeating this to yourself, you are reminding yourself to include things in your day, include things in your line of work that serve your skill set, that stretch you and grow you and nurture and nourish what you have to do. One of the things is that I'm basically bilingual, right? Really good at speaking Spanish. But as I moved away from jobs where I did not need to speak Spanish regularly. I wasn't doing it often. And so I found myself like, dang, foggy with it sometimes. So it reminded me, dedicate yourself to your skills. Meaning, I don't only do what's required of me skill wise. Yeah, still practice the piano. Like still, listen to your videos. Like still do the things that are beyond your skill set, because I'm saying again, I'm not only responsive, but the communication that says I dedicate myself to growing myself. That means I take the time out to watch these videos that remind me. The other night there was a quiz. There's a whole Spanish quiz, right? And you can go, peace, love. There's a whole Spanish quiz where I was able to watch the quiz and be like, I know this stuff. But again, being able to remind yourself with self dialogue of what you are responsible for yourself, with yourself, about yourself, is very, very important. Peace, peace, peace. I don't have to use it in the line of work that I do now. I mean, I teach it as a course in class, but not regularly. So it's like I don't have to use it as much. But it's just an example of sometimes if the world doesn't ask certain things of us, we don't require them of ourselves. And being able to say I dedicate means that no matter, a dedication means no matter the circumstance, the scenario, um the situation that I'm in or may be in, or what may be a part of my life from day to day, this is something that I am committed to for myself. I dedicate myself to the wellness of myself. I dedicate myself to the empowerment and the growth of myself. I dedicate a powerful affirmation starter. You fill in the blanks. But those are the major three I would recommend starting with to boost up self communication and conversations with self regularly. I decide, I deserve, I dedicate. These things bring us back and what it will do for you internally as you shower yourself. This is a sacredly showering series that we're in. So as you shower yourself with affirmation, know again, it's not superficial, it's not surface, it's not manipulating, gaslighting yourself. It is deep and honest conversation. I do journaling at night, and some of my journaling entails affirmation. And I recently had to change it's crazy. I literally went in and changed some of the language that I write in my journal, because some of the affirmation I found was more wishful or hopeful than it was like coming from my personal place of need. And it was kind of like, what is realistic for you? What is kinder for you? What is more connected to you? How can you say this in a more connected way of communicating to self? I changed a word or two in the journaling, read it back to myself. You wouldn't believe the things that changed in just 24 hours from me just being able to have a personal perspective shift of what I need, where I am. So speak good to yourself, okay? Talk to yourself. Talk it out. Talk it out. Now talk it out. Okay, let's move to the next thing. We'll get ready to get out of here because we have gone way over our moment. But I'm going to go to this very last point of keep that same energy. Okay? When it comes to the way people talk to us, one of the things that we've heard all types of way growing up from others and people saying to us is watch how you talk. You go watch how you talk to me. Okay, watch what you say out your mouth, right? I am big on how people speak to me. I can tell how you feel about me. I can tell where you are personally in your life. I can tell where you, based on how you speak to me. So a lot of times when it comes to that, sister girl talk, is watch how you talk to me. Watch what you say out your mouth. One of the besties on the line, and one of our favorite lines is India Irie. Dang it, what is the song? he heals me. I'm trying to sing the song in my head, y'all. Sorry. He heals me. One of my favorite songs. He heals me. And one of the lines he says, she says in the song is, he chooses his words kindly when he tells me I'm not right. Most people say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. That doesn't even make all the sense. In some instances, I see what people are saying, because sometimes you have a right intention of saying things, but you say it the wrong way. So in that context, I get it. But I am here to say that when you are talking to yourself, it's what you say and how you say it. When someone is talking to you, someone is giving you all the zhush, okay? It's not just how they're saying it, it's what they're saying. The whole thing is coming together for you. And when someone is bringing some smoke, it is what they say and how they are saying it. And so that's why we say, oh, watch how you talk. Watch, I'm big on it, right? The way you communicate with me is big. It lets me know your patience level, your intelligence level, your intentions, your deep emotionals, your speaking or lack of, all of it lets me know where you are. So we often will say, watch how you watch how you talk to me, boo. Watch what you say. And I would like us to keep that same energy with self. Watch how you talk to you. Watch what you say to you. Watch very carefully if you're saying nothing to you at all, because how would you feel about someone you love who says nothing to you at all? Watch if you're only speaking when necessary. How would you feel about someone you love speaking to you only when necessary, only when problematic, only to get out of a situation? Watch how you talk to you. Watch when you talk to you. Keep that same energy. Keep the energy of respect and requirement for self. I have requirements and standards when you talk to me. Ain't no ayo, no B words, no shorty. Certain things I just don't even respond to. That's because I'm an emotional divine being of energy. So I don't respond to what won't resonate to that energy. The same thing, I don't separate my energy from myself and the world. I am the same being with myself as I am externally, right? Therefore, I'm not going to just respond to anything, or I won't respond positively to just anything. So I can't talk to myself crazy. If it doesn't work for them, it won't work for you. Keep that same energy. If you have a standard for how you should be spoken to. When I had my nephew and I took him to his baseball game yesterday morning, and he was getting a little, a little mouthy in the back seat. And it was his tone. He didn't mean to be disrespectful, but he didn't agree with something that I was saying. And I had to say, excuse me, watch, watch it. Watch it, son. Right? So, same thing with yourself. Watch it. Right? Watch the way you are with yourself. I don't do well with no yelling, screaming, cussing, accusing, what is it, berating, manipulating. None of it works well with me. Keep that same energy when you're talking to yourself. When you're sitting there trying to talk yourself into something you should not be doing, manipulating yourself. Shouldn't be work. It's not going to work well. It doesn't work well for you, boo. Does it? It's not going to come out all right for you. So keep that same energy of requirement. I have a standard of respect for myself. I don't call myself a B. I've never allowed a friend or anyone. If you do that, that works for you. I've seen it on TV. I've seen how, it's funny and people can do what they do. I have a level of respect for self. Certain things can't be said to me. I've corrected people for say, be honest, before they, as a precursor to what they're saying. I stop them right there. So please do not ever come to me saying be honest, as if you did not say that, I wouldn't be. I stop. Just my respect level. Don't come at me. So did you? You know how sometimes we have bosses and superiors and they talk to you like, so you were out yesterday. Did you bring talking to you like you know what I'm saying? What can I say? Don't talk to me like that. Don't talk to me like that. But if I have that requirement of respect and standard for everyone else, why do I waive it for myself? How come I can tell myself lies? How come I can criticize myself? How come I can berate myself? How come I can gaslight myself? Girl, you gonna do it tomorrow, 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 tomorrow. How come I can watch it? Watch how you talk to me. Watch how you talk to me. Keep that same energy. Watch how you talk to you. Watch how you deal with you. Watch how you invest in you. Watch how you love on you. Watch how you give to you. Watch how you feel about you. Not the way others make you feel about you. Come on, I decide how you feel about you. How you feel about you. That's where it's at. Like, that's the part that matters. But we like to do like, oh, but you make me feel. Nobody can. I'm 40 years old, boo. Nobody can make you do nothing. We grown. Can't make me feel. I can allow you. I decide. That means I allow you to play on my phone or play in my face. But you can't, right? Watch how you talk to yourself. Watch how you deal with yourself. Watch how you love yourself. Watch how you show up for yourself. And go ahead and keep on sacredly showering yourself with those affirmations. Now, it's been a beautiful moment. You've been a beautiful audience. I love you so much. Muru is on the line. Neonu is on the line. India was on the line earlier, okay? It was a lot going on earlier in the show. I am so grateful. I am so appreciative. And for those that are on that I can't see, if you're not in the chat, I can't see it. I can see numbers, but I can't see names. I am grateful for you anyway. Your algorithm, your love, your affection, your well wishes, and your good energy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Whether you're in real time or you catch me on a playback, go ahead, like, share, and subscribe as you will, as you can. And take really good care of yourself. Okay? Go ahead. Take really good care of yourself. I'm about to go do the Michael Jackson thing today with the family and the birthday shenanigans for my nephew Edgar. So I just already know I'm about to like be in all the good feels. Okay? The nostalgia. Okay, I'm about to get it all together. So do something that makes you feel a little, okay? Take really good, that was my thriller move. Okay. Take really good care of yourself. Take really good care of yourself. Go on and take great care. It's going to be this weather like all week. So go ahead, get it together now. Get your mind together now. Get your hoodies and stuff together so that you can be easier on yourself this week. And then, after you've done some really good things for yourself, after you talk sweet to me. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, talk to me about it. After you've done some really good talking to yourself, taking really good care of yourself, go on out your way and take really good care of someone else. I love you all so much, and I'll see you next week for another moment of harmony. You loved it, new? I know I'm gonna love it. Everyone just keeps saying like, it doesn't tell you anything new. It's a nostalgia pick. I don't care. I want to be starting something. I just want to be there. I want to be there with Michael, with the children who don't know who Michael is all the way, like they should. You know what I'm saying? Like they think they do, but they have no idea. So I wanted to go get me some Michael effect. Okay? I love you. Have a great, great week. Take good care.